Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission meeting of June the 13th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Seeger. Here. Truxillo.
Here.
Ress. Here. McInnes.
Here.
Gaines.
Here.
Doherty.
Here.
Crawford.
Here.
Troncoso.
Here.
Smale.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Public announcements, please silence all phones and electronic devices. If you have a case that you disagree with the commission on, you have the right to appeal it to the council. Appeal cards are over on the railing to my right. Speaker cards, if you wish to speak on a case, speaker cards are over on the railing to my right, and you must fill out a speaker card in order to speak. And please mark it, you want to speak or you don't want to speak, you for or against. Public speaking, 10 minutes each side and 5 minutes for rebuttal. You're welcome to exit the building after your case is heard, or you're welcome to stay in the building. Please rise for the invocation by Commissioner Seeger and the pledge by Commissioner Crawford. Heavenly Father, before we attempt any great or important task, it is right to invoke your blessings. We thank you for life itself and for the blessing of being residents of St. Tammany Parish. Lord, please envelop Commissioner Hernandez in your cloak of comfort in his mourning of the passing of his wife. We sincerely desire to make our little part of heaven on earth a better place by our being here and serving the public in a truthful and upright manner, guided as always by your wisdom and knowledge. Thanks be to you for the citizens, employees, and elected and appointed officials of our parish. May your blessing rest upon us and this commission as we strive to do your will and serve the best interest of our community in a fair and honest way, walking uprightly all steps of the way. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, commissioners, in your packet you had the minutes from last month's meeting, May 9th meeting. Commissioner Crawford.
Motion to adopt the minutes as written.
Motion by Commissioner Crawford to adopt the minutes as written. Commissioner Smale.
Second that motion.
Second by Commissioner Smale. Please vote.
The motion to adopt the minutes as written carries.
Thank you. All right, request for postponements, Ellen?
Yes, the first request is on page 2, number 3, 2023-3228 MSP, request to postpone for 1 month.
Okay. Let me get that read into the record and we'll go to the next one. This is item 3, case numbers 2023-3228 MSP. It's a minor subdivision of parcel BV1 and out parcel of 1.083 acres into parcels BV1A, BV1B, BV1C, and BV1D. Owner representative is Browns Village Plaza, LLC, and Felicity Center, LLC. Surveyors Kelly McHugh and Associates, Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Ronald Randolph. General location, the property is located on the northwest corner of U.S. Highway 11 and Browns Village Road, Slot L, Ward 8, District 14. This was postponed at the February 14th, March 8th, and at the May 9th meeting. So we need to have a motion. Commissioner Seeger.
Move to postpone for 1 month.
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to postpone for 1 month. Commissioner Truxillo.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Truxillo. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Okay?
The next request is number 10 on the preliminary, 2023-3313 PP, request to postpone for 1 month.
Okay, this is item 10. Case is 2023-3313-PP. River Park Trail subdivision, formerly River Park Estates subdivision, Phase 3. Developer owner is River Park Estates LLC. Engineer surveyor is Deep South Design Group LLC. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Martha Casabon. General location, property is located on the north side of MP Planche Road, west of Louisiana Highway 25, Covington, Ward 3, District 3. This is a request by the developer, right? Or,
That's correct.
good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Paul Maroon on behalf of River Park Estates LLC. We're requesting 1 more month for the case to be tabled. If you'll recall, when I requested to be tabled last month, we were working with DOTD on some issues. We believe we've now resolved those issues. So we're now working with staff on some of the other engineering issues, all of which we think we'll have done before next month. So if you would indulge us with 1 more postponement, it would be greatly appreciated. We should be ready to go in July.
Okay, thank you, Paul. All right, Commissioner Truxillo.
I make a motion to postpone for 1 month.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Truxillo, postponed for 1 month. Commissioner Smale.
Second that motion.
Second by Commissioner Smale. Okay, please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Okay.
Item number 12 on page 3, 2023-3374 PP, Balsam Minor Subdivision, a request to postpone for 1 month.
Okay. This is item 12. Case is 2023-3374 PP, Balsam Manor Subdivision. Developer owner is AEW Sales Development LLC. Engineer is Fairway Consulting and Engineering. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Rocky Toledano. General location, the property is located at the end of Melody Lane, north of Hellenberg Road, Covington, Ward 3, District 5. Mr. Shane.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Honorable Commission. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. We're just not ready to go this evening. In light of staff comments, we still have some work to do, but we're doing that, and we have every hope of being with you in July to take the matter up at that time.
Okay, thank you. Let me figure this thing out again. And Commissioner Truxillo.
Make a motion to postpone for 1 month.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Truxillo to postpone for 1 month. Commissioner Gaines.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gaines. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Number 13 on the agenda, on page 4, 2023-3375 PP, Providence Park Subdivision, Phase 2 and 3, request to postpone for 1 month.
Okay. Case is 2023-3375-PP, Providence Park Subdivision, Phases 2 and 3. Developer owner is Tower Capital Corporation. Engineer is Novus Reed Engineering LLC. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Martha Casabon. General location, the property is located on the east side of Louisiana Highway 1077, north of US Highway 190, Covington, Ward 1, District 3. The staff was late getting paperwork in, Mr. Morone.
Yes, we would ask that the matter be tabled. We were working with DOTD on this project as well. We think we have resolved, but there are still outstanding issues that we have to work with staff, so we would ask for another 30 days to be able to do that.
1 month. Okay. Mr. Morone's asking for 1 month postponement. Commissioner Truxillo.
I make a motion to postpone for 1 month.
Motion by Commissioner Truxillo to postpone for 1 month. Commissioner Gaines. Second by Commissioner Gaines. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Number 14, under final review, 2023-3319 FP Garden Walk subdivision, request to postpone for 1 month.
Okay, and this is a developer requesting the postponement, right?
That's correct.
Mr. Morone.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Again, Paul Morone. We were working on one of the retention ponds that should have been done by now, quite frankly, but it's not, and so we cannot get the as-bills completed to get to staff for their review. But I am told by my engineer and the developer that we will have this done by next month and that we do not need a 2-month delay, so I would ask that you consider 30 days, which should be more than enough for us to complete this.
Okay. All right, this is Garden Walk subdivision, Phase 3. Developer owner, the Garden Walk LLC. Engineer surveyors, Kelly McHugh and Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Riker Toledano. General location, the property is located on the north side of Emerald Forest Boulevard, east of Falconer Road, Covington, Ward 3, District 5. Commissioner Troncoso.
Motion to postpone
Motion
for
by
1 month.
Motion by Commissioner Troncoso to postpone for 1 month. Commissioner Truxillo.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Truxillo. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Thank you.
Number 15 on the agenda on page 4, 2023-3377 FP Crosswind Cove, request to postpone for 1 month.
All right, this is the developer requesting this, right? Okay. Mr. Shane.
Same comments essentially as Mr. Morone in the last matter. We don't have everything finished until we submit it to staff. It would be better to come to you in July, but we're confident we should be ready in July.
Okay, all right. All right, Crosswind Cove subdivision, developer owner, Summerview Development LLC, engineer, surveyor, Hyde Tide Consultants LLC, Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Arthur Laughlin. General location, the property is located on the west side of Airport Road, north of Meadows Boulevard, and Interstate 12, Slidell, Ward 9, District 11. Commissioner Truxillo.
Make a motion to postpone for 30 days.
Motion by Commissioner Truxillo to postpone for 1 month. Commissioner Smale.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smale. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 1 month carries.
Number 16, 2023-3367 FP Spring Haven subdivision, Phase 3A and 3B. We have a request to postpone for 2 months.
Okay. Mr. Morone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On this particular case, staff had suggested that it would be better to postpone for 2 months. We agree with staff. We think that assessment is correct. And so we would ask for 2 months because there are some field items and some significant items that it's going to take us a while to correct. So we think that the 2 months would be more appropriate, so we don't show up next month and ask to table it again like I've done on some of these other cases. So 60 days should give us the time, so we respectfully request that postponement this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rowland. All right, this is case 2023-3367-FP, Springhaven subdivision, phases 3A and 3B, developer owner, Springhaven LLC. Engineer surveyor is Kelly McHugh and Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Michael Marino. General location, the property is located south of Springhaven Lane, west of Dummy Line Road, north of Louisiana Highway 22, Madisonville, Ward 1, District 4. Commissioner McInnes.
Motion to postpone for 2 months. I do appreciate the more than 1 month so that we don't spend any time on it in our review process, so approve that. But Paul, you're certainly on a roll here.
Okay, Commissioner McInnes has made a motion to postpone for 2 months. Commissioner Truxillo.
And I second.
Second by Commissioner Truxillo. Please vote.
The motion to postpone for 2 months carries.
No other request.
I had item 17 marked as a postponement.
The last item,
Yeah, 17.
Mr. Liner will be here shortly to further explain.
And that doesn't need any action by the commission.
Okay, why?
It's just, Mr. Lyon will explain, but it's just.
All right, we'll leave that one alone for right now. All right, let's see if there's any other ones that I have marked. I believe that's it. All right. We'll go back to the head of the agenda. We go to revocations. Item 1. Case is RAV 23-07-004. The revocation of an unopened portion of Dogwood Drive located on the south side of Chifuncta Drive, west of Willow Drive, between Lot 49 Square K and Lot 1 Square J of Country Club Estates subdivision, Ward 4, District 4. The applicant is Kelly Donahue. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Michael Arena. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to revoke an unopened portion of Dogwood in order to assimilate the property into the adjacent property. The staff has no objections.
Okay. Is Kelly Donahue here? Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. As noted, the revocation is just unmaintained land. It's quite overgrown with scrubby trees, all manner of brambles and thorny vines and other nuisance plants. And so we would simply like to maintain it as a green space. And in order to warrant or to justify the time and effort in doing that, we would get the property to legally acquire it. So that is the basis for our request.
Okay, and you are James Donahue?
I'm James Donahue, correct.
Okay, all right. I had a card here, and I just wanted to be sure I had the right person. All right. All right, does anyone else wish to speak in favor on this? Anyone wish to speak against? I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Truxillo.
Mr. Donahue, please come up for a minute. I'm over here.
Yes, sir.
You said that piece of property is unmaintained right now, and you wanted to take possession of it and maintain it, correct? Green space?
Yes, well, actually, when we acquired the property, we were not aware that there was that space there. And so the yard as is actually encroaches to some degree onto that parish property. And so the other portion of it is basically unmaintained. It's just a tangle of vines. Quite frankly, I think it's a nuisance to our neighbors in Beauchene because they have periodically come over to cut back all that growth. And so I think they would be grateful to have it maintained in a regular way. And certainly I think our neighbors in Covington Country Club would prefer not to see that kind of eyesore with overgrowth everywhere. So.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Truxillo to approve. Commissioner Crawford.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Crawford. Commissioner Rist.
Yeah, I have a question for the petitioner.
I assume part of the issue is because your driveway goes over onto that piece of property too, it looks like from this drawing?
That's true, and again, we were not aware of that when we acquired the property. To be honest, I actually bought it sight unseen because there was a drop in price and we just had to move quickly. So that is an issue, and I'm uncomfortable with that as is. So I would
Are the two sheds yours also?
Yes, and one of them was there when we acquired the property, and we simply put the other one next to it just to keep it, lined.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Commissioner Troncoso.
Mr. Donahue, I have a question.
I think I'll stay here.
We'll get your exercise tonight.
Yes, sir.
Over here. Do you know who owns the remainder of the land to the left of the right-of-way?
I only know their name. I've had very few interactions with them. So in the 5 years that we've owned 131 Chafuncta, they have twice come by and had the lot mowed down. But other than that, there has been no maintenance on a regular basis by them of that property.
A question for legal is there any obligation to notify the landowner that's adjacent to the right-of-way on the other side?
Actually, the parish actually did send a certified letter to
I
the
can't hear you.
Yeah, the staff did send a certified letter to her, the adjacent property owner, telling them about the revocation and asking them if they had any objections to give us a call or contact us or come up here, and we didn't hear anything from them. They had 10 days to respond, so we sent a certified mail.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
All right. We go to entering parish right-of-way, servitudes, easements, and Tammany Trace. This is item 2, request to enter the parish right-of-way for Alexisville subdivision, 11th Avenue and Charlie Street. Developer owner, Mr. Behaven Shahan. Engineer surveyor, Mr. Behaven Shahan, currently. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Riker Toledano. General location, the property is located at the end of 11th Avenue, west of US Highway 11, south of Three Rivers Road, Covington, Ward 3, District 5. This was postponed at the May 9th meeting. Staff?
Yes, sir. Staff has reviewed the request and has no additional comments to the enter the right-of-way request at this time. Thank you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening. So I'm here to request to enter parish right-of-way to further gain access to my property. As it sits right now, there's just trees and basically undeveloped land. So just want to enter the right-of-way so we can see what's out there and potentially figure out a development plan after.
All right. Does anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone wish to speak against on this item? I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Rist.
Yeah, I had a question for the petitioner, just, or a comment, I guess. It talks about, in this request of 5 feet, just, 5 feet from the corner of the property for your driveway. I would just be concerned, that's, for doing which just the exploring of the property, that's not a big problem, but if you're looking at long-term, I wouldn't put too much into that. It's too close to the corner, probably. To be.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Troncoso.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Troncoso to approve. Do I have a second? Commissioner Crawford. Second by Commissioner Crawford. Any further discussion? Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, we go to minor subdivisions. First one that I have to go to is item 4. Case is 2023-3357-MSP. It's a minor subdivision of parcel 3 into parcels 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, and 3E. Owner and representative is Kane Blake, LLC, William McGee. Surveyor is John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the property is located on the south side of Steen Road, west of Clarence Road, Sun, Louisiana, Ward 5, District 6. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create 5 parcels from parcel 3. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcels 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, and 3E are proposed to be accessed from a 35-foot access servitude. The proposed name of the 35-foot access servitude shall be approved by the Planning Commission, and the proposed name is actually Cane Break Lane, and is submitted and approved by St. Tammany Parish Communication District. And also there's a request for a waiver to allow for the construction of the 35-foot access drive right-of-way and the required drainage prior to the building permit being issued on parcels 3B, 3C, 3D, and 3E. And the approval shall be subject to items 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed on the staff report.
Okay, thank you. Kane Blake?
Yes, Kane Brink.
Okay.
B-R-A-K-E. Bill McGee on behalf of Cane Break LLC. This is my maiden voyage for a minor subdivision, and Ms. Lambert was very helpful in helping us put this together. This is a piece of property that is fronts on Stein Road, which is a public road, and all of the lots below it or south of it would be maintained by a private road constructed according to the St. Tammany Parish standards. And it's significant that, as far as this proposal is concerned, is it is zoned A2, which has minimum density requirements of 1 acre, and each of these lots are going to be 3.3 acres, so it's a deviation upward from the minimum requirement. And we've also signed an agreement regarding the maintenance of the private road rather, and understand the requirements of having this agreement mentioned in the deeds as the property is sold. So, any questions?
Okay, not right now.
Okay.
All right, anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? All right, anyone wish to speak against? All right, I got 3 cards here on speaking against. Jerry Swincer,
That's not.
start you off first. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the panel. I present myself before you today representing the residents that live on Stein Road. And also, I believe the council of the Village of Sun. We're concerned about this in that we have no direction as to what is going to be done on these lots and on these properties. The residents have made their opinions known to the council of the Village of Sun that they are against this, and a moratorium was already passed to limit these lots to 5 acres. Stein Road, I don't know if any of you've ever been down it, but it's designated as a substandard road. It has no shoulders between the edge of the road and the ditch. There are several dangerous drop-offs there. And we just feel that any appreciable amount of residents being built in this will overload the infrastructure of the area, namely our water. It's been in there since the 60s and hasn't had no improvements on it. We have one volunteer fire department, and residents are afraid with many more residences being constructed in the area that our fire rating will be dropped significantly, adding a cost to the residents. As it is, we have hardly any police presence in the area. The only time police are present in this area is just reaction to any kind of incident. And we just feel that it's going to be adding problems to the area. And all the residents have voiced their opinion against this. And as I told you before, the moratorium has been passed, and I don't see why we should go against the concerns of the residents and the voice of the council of the Village of Sun. I have not seen any drainage studies for this area. I have not seen any environmental impact studies for this particular area. And a lot of this area adjacent to this area is a watershed for Holden's Creek. So it's a big concern for drainage in the area. Mainly we're just concerned about it overloading our infrastructure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jared Collin? Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The invocation about living in this wonderful place, well, when we bought our house 8 years ago, we had an address that said St. Tammany Parish, Sun. When we went to pay our taxes to St. Tammany, they said we live in Washington Parish. So by desire, we'd be residents here, but unfortunately, we're 200 feet out of the parish, but we have to go through this area to be able to enter our home. And this is really a significantly more complicated issue than just 5 lots that are 3.13 acres. Originally, the desire was stated that it would be 5 acres, and then it came out it was going to be 1 acre. But it's not just 17 acres. This is 175 contiguous acres, yes, split by Stein, but it's 175 acres. And the density from the ultimate project, I'm not talking about the 5 being built now, it's real easy to go to a minor subdivision, go to 5 properties and start with that. Go to 3 acres instead of less, so we don't have the density issues. But the real long-term prospects we're looking at is somebody has 175 acres to develop over time. And the Village of Sun has slightly more than 400 people. The homes that could be built on this could potentially increase the population of Sun by almost double. And this road that we go on, there is not the infrastructure. The condition of it, there's no drainage. They put about an 8-inch culvert to go over what the drainage was, and half of that's underground. So to be able to meet the requirements they're going to have to meet, I see as a real long shot, because every time it rains, there's flooding all up and down Clarence, there's flooding all up and down Stein. So this can only exacerbate the situation that we have in this neighborhood. And we bought our property because we planned on retiring and dying here. Now, we did plan on doing that in St. Tammany, and unfortunately, like I said, we're 200 feet out. But this is where we plan on staying, and it's very important. A lot of people in the community are just crying and saying, oh, well, if they do this, we're just going to move out. Well, that doesn't help anybody. It certainly doesn't help us. We want to stay. We want this part of St. Tammany to develop appropriately. And 175 acres are not sitting there to just be developed with 17. And I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I mean, I've been in business all my life. I've been in management all my life. And you look at what you're doing. And this was supposed to be developed. They found out there were issues with the portion that's outside of Sun and St. Tammany, so they put that on the side. That's 75 acres. I'm sure they're figuring on working that out too. But there's property south of Stein and property north of Stein. And we can't have any more water issues, any more flooding. It floods where we can't get in and out on a regular basis. So I appeal to y'all to understand what the long-term implications of this little, small, minor subdivision is. It is not going to stay a small, minor subdivision. There's 175 acres, so about 160 acres to go to develop. And that's what we're really opposed to, because the infrastructure isn't there. Our policeman is also our maintenance guy. I mean, there just isn't the possibilities to support this. And I can't imagine the load if we don't have sewage for that, and there isn't that, the infrastructure's not there for that. If they put all those septic systems in that little area, what that's going to do to their water, because they're going to probably want well water, because the city water has got some issues. So it's just extremely complicated. It is not just an issue of a minor subdivision with 5 lots going into it. And I'll go ahead and reserve the last 2 minutes for the third speaker. Thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. The third speaker is Judy Collins, and she said she didn't wish to speak.
Well, he can go take my 2 minutes if he has anything else to say, but,
You need to come to the microphone, please.
I'm gonna come up. I wasn't gonna speak, but I'm gonna come up. My husband said, we live in Washington Parish, which we do, but, when he said that we, don't live in the Sun community, we have to go up Stein and down Clarence to get to our property. Our property is isolated from Washington Parish. So the subdivision that he wants to put up there, the traffic is already pretty horrific for that little street. It cannot take a 2-lane traffic. And like my husband said, it's not about 5 houses going up. That's just the start of it. He has 100 acres, and he wants to develop that whole 100 acres. He's starting off with 5 houses, because he can bypass a lot of the rules and regulations. And then what? A year later, 6 months later, he wants to put up another 5 houses? The community cannot take that amount of houses coming into our little area. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else wish to speak against that I didn't have a card on? All right, we'll go to rebuttal. Mr. McGee.
Well, I thought this was going to be easy. The property that's before you tonight is a 17-acre parcel. It's in an A2 zoned district in St. Tammany Parish. The gentleman was correct that Canebrake has other properties in the vicinity, but all of those properties are located in the village of Sun. Now, the property that's before you tonight, the 17 acres, it fronts on Stein Road, but it's a huge, part of a huge pasture that formerly existed. And it all drains downhill to, I don't remember the name of the creek. The gentleman that spoke first had the correct name. But the moratorium in the Village of Sun has no effect on this 17 acres. The drainage studies that the first speaker mentioned is not part of the rules and regulations under minor subdivision approval. These are 3.3 acre lots. We don't have 175 acres. And the environmental impact is not part of what's required by the minor subdivision ordinance. And sewage is not part of what's considered in the minor subdivision ordinance. If it had been, we would have addressed all those things with the submission that Ms. Lambert asked us to put in. So I understand their concerns, but I don't share the concerns that they have. This is strictly a minor subdivision, and that's all we're asking for is approval of that. So I'll be open to any questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's get the against rebuttal. The gentleman that spoke first.
Mr. Chairman, panel, this acreage that he's proposing to resize is in the Village of Sun. Now, there is some of his property that is outside the Village of Sun. And I heard him say that he was going to build access into these properties and do it according to parish standards. Well, what has been done there so far is not according to parish standards. The culverts are undersized for the ditch, and as the gentleman that spoke before, we've never had a problem at the intersection of Clarence Road and Stein Road with flooding. And since those improvements have been done and those temporary drives have been put in, we have a flood problem there now. And we do have a flood problem that has begun on Clarence Road itself. As I mentioned before, Holden's Creek, that runs directly behind my property. A vast majority of the property that this gentleman owns is a watershed for Holden's Creek. And I understand that the rules and regulations might not require an environmental impact study or a drainage study or a sewer disposal study, but I think it should be a part of it. Because with the inception of the new four-lane highway construction from Bogalusa to I-12, it's going to open up a vast corridor for transportation, and it's going to open up a chance for people to move to this area. As you know, it's like happened in Folsom, Lee Road, Madisonville. Look what's happened in those areas. Those areas were not prone to flooding. The traffic problems weren't there. But after the influx of the subdivisions and the people, it's become a problem. It's just something that needs to be looked at. It's going to cause problems in the future. I have no problems with new neighbors, not a problem at all. But I don't want to see the infrastructure overloaded. We just have a nice little quiet community there. We would love to keep it that way. It's classified as rural. And I say even the residents that I spoke to have no problem with new neighbors and new construction. But we're just concerned that the new construction is going to overload the fragile infrastructure that we do have in place there. And it's proven in all these other areas that I mentioned before that it's happened. And the same thing is going to happen here. And we just want make sure that we have the infrastructure to support all of this.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. The other gentleman, you got about a minute and 19 seconds, though.
Thank you, I'll make use of that. So, I noticed as the other rebuttal went on, there was no mention of what the actual acreage was. I threw out 175, that's what I was told by people involved in real estate. And so, it's a large amount of property. But the point is, again, that it's a lot of property that's set to be developed. A significant portion south of Stein Road, significant portion north of Stein Road, and the only thing it can do is increase and exacerbate the flooding problems and issues that we have in that neighborhood. Now, I would have no problem if there were 30 acres and they wanted to put in 5 houses there. But the problem is that we're not looking at just 5 houses. We're looking at well over 100 acres. Is that fair? 125. Okay. 125 acres. So that's a lot of houses. It's going to put an incredible strain on the infrastructure, and I just don't see that it can increase the quality of our life. Now, if you wanted to put in 5 acre, just build 5 acre houses, that would probably be okay, but this is not acceptable. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission.
Thank you.
Pardon?
You said bless you.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'm going to bring it back to the commission. Commissioner McInnes.
I guess I have a question for staff. Is this in the Village of Sun or not?
No, it's not.
It is not.
The sign that they posted was on house Sun side.
Is it contiguous with the Village of Sun?
Yes.
Commissioner
Okay.
McGinnis, if you look at your map that was provided as part of the packet, the gray shaded area next to the blue triangle area at issue is the municipal limits for this Village of Sun. So you can see that it is next to the Village of Sun, but not in the Village of Sun.
Yeah, it's
You all
kinda
would not have
surrounded.
jurisdiction if it was
Yeah, it's
within
kinda
Sun's
surrounded.
municipal
Okay.
boundaries.
I will say, I looked at this project, I looked at the tax assessor, parcel map. What I like to look at is if you have a rural ag guidance from our New Directions 2040, how something fits in. And it seemed to me there were a number of smaller lots up on Clarence Road and in the vicinity. So my interpretation was that this was not a significant change, particularly given that they could have one house per 1 acre, and they're dividing it into 3-acre lots. So I didn't really see any concern. It's hard to state that 5 lots is going to be that dramatic. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to make a motion. I want to hear what my fellow commissioners have to say, but I certainly understand the concerns. I know Sun, I know people who live in Sun, but I didn't see this as a red flag.
Commissioner Troncoso.
I have a question for Mr. McGee. There was, someone mentioned that the culverts were undersized. Have you done any work on the easement area, or servitude area
Well, there is a parcel on the north side of Stein Road that we had started putting roads in to that parcel. On the south side of the road, we have enough land to be able to transport fill for the roads, and we used the access through the frontage on Stein Road of the first parcel that's proposed in this minor subdivision. So there was a temporary culvert placed on the south side of the road to allow the trucks to go across Stein Road to get to the other road. The culvert that I think he's talking about is the one that was on the north side of Stein Road. And admittedly, I mean, there is no, everything there right now is temporary during construction. We don't want to put the main things that we're going to have in the culverts in the road until all the trucks are finished going and doing their thing. So, yeah.
Just as a general, just for information, topographically, where does it drain? Where does this 16.5 acres naturally drain?
It drains
towards
south.
the street?
No, it drains
away
south,
from it?
away from the street.
Do you own the property to the east of this 16 acres?
Yes, we do. It abuts the property we own. It is, the dividing line is the line between the Village of Sun and the Parish of St. Tammany.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Just from my perspective, the property is zoned for that use and that size of development. The other thing about it is that when he goes to develop the road, correct me if I'm wrong, staff, he'll have to provide a drainage plan. And if the natural flow of water is not towards Stein, but in the opposite direction, the effects, I think, would be minimal. I wouldn't see, of course, subject to seeing a drainage plan, but looking at that, it just, and as far as the access drive is concerned, it would meet, from what he's saying, all of the standards that are required by the parish.
Anything else? Anything else, Ron? Mr. Gaines.
I have a question for staff first. Where's the parish line on this map?
So if you take a look at the vicinity map, the darker gray area, I guess south of Clarence, is the area that is in the Village of Sun. So you have on your map, you have Tuft, Timus, Carolina, Wren, Spotted Towhee, and Clarence on the north side, and then on the south side, it's right along that blue line that's in the Village of Sun.
So but they're saying that some of their drive takes them through Washington Parish. Where's the Washington Parish line? Is it visible on this map? Is any of this property, none of this properties in, okay. When was this area zoned A2?
During the comprehensive rezoning, so probably 2010.
Okay. I have a question for you, sir. Yes. You said that you were moving dirt from the parcels in question across the road?
Not from what is before you tonight, on the east side.
Okay, from the land that you own, but not in question tonight.
Right. We have a pond area over there that we are expanding. It's within the Village of Sun. So we are expanding that pond and taking the dirt and moving it over on the north side of Stein Road to put in a street.
Okay, staff, it's my understanding does that coincide with the zero net fill if you can move it from one property to another to build a road?
None of that is in the parish. None of that's in St. Tammany Parish.
That's why I asked the question where the parish line was earlier.
Oh, okay, but we're on the Sun side of the property line.
Let him
I'm
explain
sorry,
it to me. That's okay.
That's fine. I was going to say pretty much exactly what he's saying. So there is a difference between Washington Parish, St. Tammany Parish, and the Village of Sun. The Village of Sun is just that, it's a village similar to the town of Mandeville.
Right.
It's not actually governed by unincorporated St. Tammany, but it falls within
Microphone.
St. Tammany Parish.
Oh.
Physical boundaries. So the work that he's describing, now I've not gone out and see, it sounds like it is all taking place in the Village of Sun. Now, whether that was permitted through them or how he's handling that, my office would not know that answer.
So it's okay to move dirt from one parcel to another parcel?
I can answer for St. Tammany. In St. Tammany, we have ordinance that do govern that type of thing, and it is not explicitly prohibited as long as it meets our requirements in our ordinance for the no-net-fill section. I can't speak to what the Village of Sun's ordinance are because I don't know what they are. So that would be a question for the.
So it's outside of your jurisdiction is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Truxillo.
I want to go back to the culverts. Sir?
Yes, sir.
Are those culverts in the Village of Sun or in St. Tammany Parish?
The one culvert on the south side of Stein Road would be in St. Tammany Parish.
Okay, now, thank you very much. Theodore? When people put in temporary culverts, do they have to come through y'all and get permits and everything?
It depends on what the temporary culvert is related to. That's kind of a multi-point question. If it's associated with a site work permit, commercial permit, land clearing, then we would know about those types of things. If it's something that's, someone's accessing their property to go cut the grass, no, that does not typically come through my office, but typically a culvert has been established there from some time. So we can see those depending on the intent of the use of that temporary culvert, but we don't always see them.
Okay, I'm talking about this type of application what he's doing here.
I have no knowledge of the culvert placed there. We have no complaints on the property from anyone at this time. We're happy to go out and look and see what has been done to the property, but at this time, we have not inspected the property because we have no justification, requirement, or reason to go out to said property.
Okay, so what I'm hearing or what I'm understanding, there's no requirement for someone, if they want to put a culvert down, to come to the parish and get a permit for it.
We do not currently have a culvert-only permit. It is
Okay.
something that's being looked into in the rewrite, but currently, right now, no. The
Okay,
temporary
wait,
culverts are associated with particular permits.
Okay, then you answered my question. Okay, thank you very much for the information.
Yes, sir.
Well, we heard a lot, and like my commissioner over there said, that this property is zoned to do what it's doing, so I'll make a motion to approve.
With the waiver. With the waiver.
Yeah, with the waiver.
It's a waiver.
All right, Commissioner Crawford.
Mr. McGee?
Yes, sir.
One more question.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me if I heard correctly. The total property you have in this vicinity is 125 acres?
Yes.
Okay. I believe I heard you say that this is what, 17 that's in question?
Correct.
And that part is in St. Tammany and not in the Village of Sun?
That's correct.
And the balance of your property was all in the Village of Sun?
That's correct.
Okay. Is that property governed by this moratorium that we don't know anything about, but that we heard about today?
The
balance of that?
The moratorium that Sun passed?
Yes.
Every piece of property in Sun is affected by that moratorium.
So in essence, the balance of your 125 acres, aside from the 17, would be governed by that moratorium?
It would be.
Okay. So in essence, all we are talking about is this 17 acres.
That's correct.
That would be developed under St. Tammany's rules?
That's correct.
Okay. So staff, does that make sense to y'all? Okay. I'll second the motion to approve.
Thank you.
Commissioner Seeger. Tom?
Canceled.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Reyes.
To the owners of the property concerned about the culverts, I would recommend you folks that live along there, if you have a problem with somebody's put a culvert in and it's obstructing flow, then you need to contact the parish and they'll look into it for you and make sure the right size is put in. But you need to contact them to know, otherwise they may not know anything about it, okay? So if you didn't get satisfaction with that, contacting the parish, contact your representative, your council rep, to follow up for it. And if they don't follow up, I don't, you're running out of tools. And contact them. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Smale.
So, as a commissioner that does not like small lots, I appreciate the fact that this 17 acres is not going to be 17 lots, as would be allowed in A2. I appreciate that it's 5 lots. And I do understand that the other 110 acres would only be able to be split up into 5-acre lots, would be a total of 22 lots. So we're looking at a total of maybe 26, 27 lots possible in this 125 acres. So I just, understand the concerns of the residents, but wanted to make them hopefully feel a little better that nobody's going to come in and put a big subdivision in here. You're only going to have the possibility of 25, 26, 27 lots, to my understanding, in Sun and in St. Tammany Parish. So I'm ready for the vote. I'll go along with we already have a motion to
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this. Please vote.
The motion to approve with waivers fails. Doesn't it have to be all 10 with the waivers? No? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the motion to approve carries. I apologize.
Okay. Those that came and spoke against, you have the right to appeal this to your councilwoman, Ms. Tanner. So the appeal forms are over on the railing there. All right. All right, we go to item 5, 2023-3359-MSP, a minor subdivision of 10.58 acres into tracts A, B, and C. Owner and representative, Hugh McCormick. Surveyors R.J. Fuselier and Associates, LLC. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Arthur Laughlin. General location, the property is located on the south side of Horseshoe Island Road, east of Louisiana Highway 434, Lacombe, Ward 6, District 11. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create 3 parcels from 10.58 acre parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to tract C is proposed to be accessed from a 40-foot access servitude requiring approval from the Planning Commission.
Okay. Is Mr. McCormick here? Good evening.
He is not, but I am here. I'm his daughter, Tanya McCormick.
Okay, state your name and your address.
Tanya McCormick, 30396 Horseshoe Island Road.
Okay, and I'll need you to fill out a card after you speak. Okay? So what do you want to tell us?
My parents bought this property 20-something years ago with hopes of all their children to live on the property with them. I'm ready to build, so we went ahead and surveyed it out. And while we did that, we also surveyed for my sister, who is not ready to build yet, but we wanted to just, while we had the surveyor. So we're ready to build. She is not. We have track A, which is on Horseshoe. So we're requesting a waiver for the other track until she's ready to build.
Okay. All right. Anyone else wish to speak in favor on this? Anyone wish to speak against? I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
So question for staff. Do we need a waiver on this one?
No, it's not a waiver. It's
Okay.
just because it's located south of the urban growth boundary line. The regulation requires that the Planning Commission reviews any request for the creation of a parcel that is being accessed from a private road.
Okay. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Crawford to approve. Commissioner Seeger.
I have one question for staff. What is this current zoning?
It is currently zoned A2 suburban. So minimum lot size of 1 acre.
I second the motion to approve.
You second it, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
All right, we go to item 6. Case is 2023-3382-MSP. It's a minor subdivision. Excuse me. Minor subdivision of 7.78 acres into parcels A and B. Owner and representative is Wayne Brannon LLC. Surveyor is John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the property is located on the east side of Lennell Road, north of Low Davis Road, Covington, Ward 10, District 6. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create 2 parcels from 7.78 acre. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcel B does not meet the minimum lot frontage of 200 feet required under the A1A suburban zoning district and requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission.
Okay. Good evening, you are?
Good evening, Council. I basically have a parcel of land and I'm subdividing it for my kids, and there's a variance on one part of it that is a road frontage. It's about 40 feet short. I think it's 200 feet, so we were just trying to get a variance on it.
Okay, you're Mr. Brennan? Brannon?
But yes, I'm Wayne Brannon, yes.
Okay, all right. All right, anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone wish to speak against? Close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
Mr. Brannon.
Mr. Brannon.
Quick question. The 2 acres in front that are not apart, who owns that and what's there?
I have 1 acre and 2 acres right next to it, and then I have the 7.9 that goes around it when I'm doing the subdividing, the 7 point for my son.
Okay, so that's you in front, that 2
Correct,
acres
I
is
am
not
in
apart.
front, that's
Okay.
correct.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by,
With the waiver.
motion by Commissioner Crawford to approve with the waivers. Commissioner Truxillo.
I second with the waiver.
Okay. All right, please vote.
Mr. Seeger? Thank you. The motion to approve with the waiver carries. Oh, shit.
All right, we go to re-subdivision review, item 7. Case is 2023-3368-MRP, re-subdivision of lots 8, 9, into lot 9A, Sierra Ridge subdivision. Owner and representative is Zachary P. and Michelle J. Adema. Surveyors Lester Martin Jr. and Associates LLC. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Mike Lorino. General location, the property is located on the southeast side of Sierra Ridge Court, south of Louisiana Highway 22, Madisonville, Ward 1, District 4. Staff?
The owner is requesting to create 1 lot from lots 8 and 9. The public hearing is required considering that as stated in the restrictive covenants of the approved plat, no lots shall be further re-subdivided without approval from the Planning Commission.
All right. Good evening. You are?
I am Zachary Paul Adama.
Okay.
We bought the 2 lots together to build our primary homestead. We currently have plans and engineering drawings and looking to move forward.
All right. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone against? Close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner McInnes.
Anytime someone wants to make the lot bigger, I'm all for it. So I move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner McInnes to approve. Commissioner Crawford.
Me too, I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Crawford. Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank y'all. All right, we go to item 8. Case is 2023-3380, MRP, re-subdivision of lots 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and part of lots 6 and 12 into lots 7A, 7B, 7C, 7D, 7E, and 7F, square 14, Shady Lake Estates. Owner and representative is J. Mendoza Homes LLC, Jose Mendoza. Surveyor is Randall Brown and Associates. Parish Council District Representative is Honorable Marty Dean. General location, the property is located on the south side of Lake Tahoe Drive, east of Lake St. Clair Drive, Covington, Ward 1, District 1. Staff?
The owner is requesting to create 6 lots. The public hearing is required considering that there's a request to create more than 5 lots and requiring approval from the Planning Commission. If you take a look at the survey, you can see that the request is to basically allow to combine the lots, together to be able to create 6 lots that are equal in size.
All right, thank you. And Jay Mendoza. I guess it's Jose Mendoza, right?
Good evening. I'm Pam Mason. I'm one of the project managers for J. Mendoza Homes. Mr. Mendoza is out of the country.
Okay.
So we are requesting to take the 5 and the 2 partials and combine it and make 6 equal lots.
Okay. All right. Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone wish to speak against? I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
Normally, wouldn't like to see 5 lots go into 6, but in this area, and there's still roughly 80 by 150, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Yeah. Commissioner Smale.
Want to second that motion?
Second by Commissioner Smale. Commissioner Troncoso.
I have a question for Helen. The zoning classification is said to be A4 suburban district. We don't have an A4 suburban district.
It should actually be A4 single-family residential district.
So it should be single family.
Yes.
Now, in a single family A4, the required width of a lot is 90 feet.
That's correct.
These lots are 79 feet.
Yes, they're taking lots of records, combining them together to make it
My understanding
larger
is that these lots were created in the 60s. But since you're changing it, I guess the question in my mind is, does it then fall under the requirements of the newest ordinance?
It falls under the requirements that you can combine lots together to create a lot that is, at least 50 feet and 5,000 square feet. So in this case, they're trying to make the lots as large as possible by moving the lot lines around and, be able to meet the drainage requirements and all the other ordinances required to be met.
So then, shouldn't that be part of a waiver process in regards to the fact that the lots are not conforming to the ordinance?
No,
in the proper zoning?
No, because it is the the lots of records regulation allows you to create lots that are over 50-foot wide and 5,000 square feet.
I don't have a problem with the thing. I'm just trying procedurally, I'm trying to understand, because I was reading the ordinance, the zoning classification that I thought it would be, because I could never find A4 suburban. There is a provision in the zoning regarding cluster development. And then cluster developments that you have the right to have smaller size lots in A4 single family.
That's correct. However, in this case, if you take a look at the staff report, we're applying Section 125 subdivision regulation to those lots.
I have a question for the applicant and just information, what is it that you're planning to do with if may I ask?
Yes, sir. We're going to be building single-family homes, roughly 2,200 square feet apiece.
Okay. No questions. Thank you.
All right, there's no one else in the queue. We have a motion and a second, so please vote.
Mr. Seeger? The motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, item 9, case is 2023-3381-MRP, a re-subdivision of lot 54 and 5.301 acres into lot 54A, Covington Industrial Park, Phase 2. Owner and representative is Favre Investment LLC. Uncas B. Favre Jr. Surveyor is John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable David Fitzgerald. General location, the property is located on the west side of Helpers Row, on the south side of Fabrication Row, and on the west side of Welders Row, Covington, Ward 3, District 2. Staff?
The owner is requesting to create one lot from lot 54 and 5.3 acres. As stated in the restrictive covenants of the approved plat, no lot shall be further re-subdivided without approval from the Planning Commission.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
How you doing? Matt Organ. I'm here on behalf of Uncas.
Okay.
And we are combining the two lots. We are developing a industrial storage yard, fits within the zoning. And we were crossing two lots, so it made that better sense to combine them and just do a larger facility.
Okay. Thank you. Well, you're the only one, I think, left in the audience, so. All right, I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Crawford to approve. Commissioner Seeger.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Seeger. Commissioner Gaines.
I just had a quick question of, you said it's going to be used for industrial storage. What type? What are you going to be storing?
Construction equipment, trailers. Not by when you say industrial, like what we mean.
So this is
by,
like equipment that your own company uses?
Well, ours, or we might rent it out to, like, we have a landscape company, or we have a, uses that would be approved within the zoning to be
Okay.
there.
All right, no more questions, thanks.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
Thank you.
All right. Preliminary approval, item 10 was postponed. Go to item 11. Case is 2023-3315-PP, Money Hill subdivision, Phase 9B, developer owner is Money Hill Plantation LLC, engineer surveyors Kyle and Associates LLC, and J.B. Burke and Associates Incorporated. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the property is located north of Country Club Drive, west of Money Hill Parkway, north of Louisiana Highway 435, Abita Springs, Ward 6, District 6. This was postponed at the May 9th meeting. Staff?
Yes, sir. The preliminary plans and hydrologic study have been reviewed by this office, and an inspection was made of the site on May 31st, 2023. Preliminary approval of this case shall be subject to the developer complying with comments 1 through 3 and all informational items below, and no work order to be issued until all required items are satisfactorily completed and submitted. Additionally, pursuant to ordinance section 12556D2, the developer is requesting a waiver of the maximum cul-de-sac length of 700 feet. See attached letter. And item number 2, pursuant to ordinance section 12588, the developer is requesting a waiver of the requirement for that all drainage rights-of-way and servitude shall not be located within an individual lot. See attached letter. Lastly, a performance obligation in the amount of $10,000 will be required to ensure the construction of the proposed temporary turnaround at the end of the Woods Avenue. Thank you.
Mr. Shane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington, representing Money Hill Plantation LLC, which seeks preliminary subdivision approval this evening for Phase 9B. This case should look familiar to most of you, as we presented this case to you last month and in fact discussed at considerable length the 2 waivers. You may remember that there were only 8 commissioners present last month, and 8 votes were needed to procure a waiver, and that there was 1 abstention or recusal vote, which only allowed 7 votes to provide the waiver. I say that just by way of history. I think you deserve some explanation of the request for the waivers, because I realize a few of you were not here last month. I will try to keep it brief, but I know you won't be afraid to ask me questions if I haven't done a good job of explaining it. So maybe the easier way to discuss the waivers would be to take a look at the layout of the subdivision, and with regard to the first waiver, and that is the length of the street in excess of 700 feet. As indicated in the attached letter to your report from our engineer, we tried to design this phase to follow the natural contour of the land, provide some curvature to the road. We only have 20 lots on this particular road. These are larger lots in Money Hill. And so the principal objectives were to use the existing natural terrain, keep the lots large, provide curvature in the road, which in effect reduces speed, and we also think presents some nice aesthetic qualities. So this pocket, if you will, of the PUD would be developed in this manner. It is a large cul-de-sac at the end. There won't be any problems with regard to turnaround for any form of emergency vehicle, etc. And we feel comfortable that this design does not compromise safety or convenience in any way. The second request was with regard to the location of the drain servitudes to the rear of the lots. Please remember that Money Hill is a private development, so that these will be private servitudes, and many of the servitudes on the lots in Money Hill are to the rear if in fact the natural topography suggests that the drainage should go to the rear. With many subdivisions, as you know, developers fill the rear of the lot to force or make sure the drainage goes from back to front. Why do we take it to the front? Because typically the drainways for the streets are catching the water from the lots. In this instance, we would like to use the existing natural terrain and topography, which allows the waters to flow to the rear, and that's where the water will be caught. Money Hill, of course, has restrictive covenants that prohibit the placement by anyone of any form of obstruction within these drainways. So we're not We don't have concerns that by having the location of the drainways to the rear of these lots, that this is going to create some failure of the drainage system. This is consistent really with many of the other areas within Money Hill, and I'm happy to say that, and I'm sure most, if not all of you, have been to Money Hill, but God has blessed that development with natural topography and other amenities that allow these requests to in fact work. So with those things in mind, we respectfully request your approval of preliminary subdivision this evening with the two waivers as it relates to the length of the street and cul-de-sac and also the location of the rear drainways. If any of you have any questions, I'll be glad to address them at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. All right, I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner McInnes.
I was the commissioner who had to abstain from voting last month, and I now know that I can at least explain why. I did part of the environmental work on this phase a couple of years ago, for which I received compensation. So I did not feel comfortable voting on this phase. And so at this time, I'm going to recuse myself from the discussion and from voting.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Truxillo.
Well, I saw this last month, and it's a beautiful development, and I have no issues with the waivers or the development of this property, so I make a motion to approve with the waivers.
Motion by Commissioner Truxillo to approve with the waivers. Commissioner Gaines.
I second with the waivers.
Second with the waivers. Commissioner Troncoso.
I have nothing to say. I agree with everything that Mr. Shane just said. I think it's going to be a fine development, and I look forward to seeing it. In fact, I will be eyeballing it on Thursday when I will be playing golf. Thank you.
All right. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Please vote.
The motion to approve with the waivers carried.
So, pardon?
Abstain.
Okay. You got that?
She's abstaining.
Okay. All right, let's see, item 13's postponed, 14's postponed, 15's postponed, 16's postponed. Ross, you awake? Ross, you awake?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You was just kind of sitting down. All right. Item 17, Money Hill subdivision, Phase 9A, developer owners, Money Hill Plantation LLC, engineer surveyors, Kyle and Associates LLC, J.V. Burke and Associates Incorporated, Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location, the property is located north of Country Club Drive, west of Money Hill Parkway, north of Louisiana Highway 435, Avita Springs, Ward 6, District 6. Mr. Shane.
Staff report first.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Periodic inspections have been made by this office during construction, and the final inspection was made on May 31st, 2023. The inspection disclosed that all the existing roads and roadside shoulders are constructed and the roadside ditches are functioning. The following uncompleted items, numbers 1 and 2, exist at the time of the final inspection and will be completed before plats are signed. Thank you.
All right, now we'll go to Mr. Shane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington, representing Money Hill Plantation LLC, and seeking final subdivision approval for this 8-lot layout as shown in your packet. There's no significant comments made by staff other than things that we know we need to comply with. all of which we agreed to comply with. And to the extent that we need to revise any of our submissions to reflect that compliance, we will do so and understand that staff will ensure that those things have been done. With that having been said, we ask that you grant final, and if any of you have any questions, I'll be glad to address them.
Okay. Commissioner Truxillo.
Jeff?
Yes, sir.
I was going to mess with you, but I'm not. Excellent development. I make a motion to approve.
Great.
Motion by Commissioner Truxillo to approve. Commissioner Gaines.
I agree with the colleagues' comments. Excellent development. I second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Gaines. Commissioner McInnes.
On this one, I can speak. Done no work here. Money Hill has, I guess ordinance is the word, that covenants that does not allow clear cutting of your lot. They have larger lots. They use the topography. There's a lot of green space in the area. It's an excellent development, and I support it.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve final. Any further discussion? Please vote.
The motion to approve carries.
All right, old business, we don't have any. New business. Unified Development Code rewrite.
Chairman, you want me to take it from here?
Pardon?
You want me to take it from here?
No, you take it.
I'll take it from here.
Okay.
I just want to give the commission an update, get this on your agenda so you kind of start thinking about it. And I'm just going to read a couple things that I have prepared. The Unified Development Code rewrite webpage is stpgov.org/planning-DCR. And I'll repeat that later with an exact way how to get there from our website. The primary objective is to revise Part 2 of the St. Tammany Parish Code of Ordinances, establishing a new unified development code in which traditional zoning and subdivision regulations are combined with other parish development regulations such as sign requirements, design guidelines, and water management to assist with review of development applications and permitting requirements. The primary result is streamline, simplify, and improve all overall code navigation in support of reducing permitting confusion, removing redundancy, and aligning application procedures and similar processes. Address the impacts of development pressure with inclusion of low-impact development standards throughout the code. To date, we've had approximately 50 public comments come through our web portal. We've had several stakeholder group engagement as well as neighborhood interest groups from across the parish. They've come and met with ourselves in the office, kind of talking about what they experience on a daily basis, and stakeholders, business associations across the parish as well. We're putting together future public meeting dates for July and August. And the reason why we chose July and August is because we released this to the public in draft form on March 31st. We wanted to give a significant amount of time for public stakeholders and anybody else to review before we held public meetings, so they can come in having at least maybe read some of it and been informed, so the conversation in the meeting will go a lot smoother. We chose July and August because if we held them June and July, that would be the summer, and people travel during the summer. So we chose July and August so people have better an opportunity for some in summer, and for some people it's better once school's back in and their schedules are more predictable. The council has a UDC committee that meets with 2 members from the Planning and Zoning Commission, Commissioner Rest and Commissioner Crawford, and that's moving along. And just to repeat the website, if you go to the home page for stpgov.org, there's a tab on the top of the page that says Initiatives. And if you hover over that or click it, it drops down options, and there's one that says Unified Development Code Rewrite. when you get to that page, you can find all 9 chapters, an information page, a public comment form, presentations, a conversion matrix from our previous code to this code, and a summary of changes that were made. So I encourage everyone to go to that website, read about it, inform themselves, and see how we can make St. Tammany Parish even better than what it is now. And it is a great place to be, and we can always do better. And I'm getting with the consultants, and they will have a presentation in July, either at the Zoning Commission or the Planning Commission meeting. So expect, things start ramping up starting in July. So I just want to give everybody an update on kind of where we are.
Okay, thank you, Ross. We've got a couple of people in the queue. Commissioner Seeger.
Table this until August.
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to postpone until August. Commissioner McInnes.
I just have a question. When it does come before us, will it just be one item on a normal agenda? Or will we, it seems like it's pretty huge. It seems like it almost needs a special meeting.
I guess that's to be determined. So we have our public meetings coming up, and we can definitely talk about this as we move through. We have 2 members on the UDC Council Committee, so hopefully with their involvement, they'll be bringing to this commission a recommendation, but we will have to have at least 2 meetings because one has to go in front of the Zoning Commission and one has to go in front of the Planning Commission. So if y'all want to start, we can discuss how this goes along.
I was thinking of the public as much as the commissioners.
No, I didn't understand your question. There'll be more than 2. We're just starting in July and August. It'll go on from there as well.
No. I meant when it comes before us, there could be a lot of people in the audience wanting to have their say. And if it's part of another long agenda, just consider that it may need its own
absolutely.
extra
I
meetings.
agree with you. As we move forward and we have these public meetings, we'll kind of start gauging how it'll go. So we can definitely have that conversation and make the best, you can only make the best, recommendation you can.
I love staying here to midnight, but I don't know about my other commissioners. That's it.
Commissioner Truxillo.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Truxillo. Commissioner Smale.
Liner, I'm having trouble finding it on a mobile device.
I've never tried that, so you want to do an exercise right now?
Yeah, let's do an exercise, please.
Bend and stretch.
So maybe it's set up a little bit differently on your mobile device than you are on your personal computer, but there's 3 bars on the right.
Yep.
Like I said, I've never done it from here, so.
You said the web address was stpgov.org
Yep,
/planning underscore or dash DCR?
It's dash DCR.
Yeah,
but look, just go to stpgov.org. Just go to the regular homepage.
Okay, I'm there.
The top 3 bars on your right-hand side.
Got it.
Click that. Scroll down to initiatives.
Initiatives is.
It's going to be all the way at the bottom. In fact, it's probably the 3rd last link, and it says Unified Development Code.
That's like way down there, huh?
Yep.
The last one is search, and then invest St. Tammany, OpenGov, rewrite, Unified Development Code rewrite?
That's the one.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Cool.
That's all I have.
So I just wanted to say, I believe Ross sent out last week or 2 weeks ago the PDF of all the chapters to us, so we could start looking at it. And of course, we know what some of the issues are, so I would just ask everybody to kind of go through there and make notes. The portal that they have set up to put comments in from the public, we can use that too. And my intention is to put some comments there also. It might be a whole lot easier than discussing them here and beating them to death and all that. So just wanted to make that point and recommend that we all use that.
Yeah, the portal's great. I mean, I wish more people would use it. It's just set up where it's just easy. It's set up 1 through 900. You can make comments for each chapter. You know, it's very easy, very user-friendly.
Okay. Any more questions, comments? Motion to adjourn. Pardon?
Vote to postpone.
Oh, yes. We've had some discussions about motions to postpone. No,
No, we need
Yep.
to.
no, deny,
Oh.
deny.
Deny it.
It's very confusing, not only to us here on the commission, but the folks sitting at home and the folks sitting in the audience. And I don't know what it's gonna take to get something changed. I know it refers to Robert's Rules of Order. And I don't know if we can override Robert's Rules of Order or not. Emily, Diana, can we override Robert's Rules of Order?
Sure, if you have something codified, that's definitely something that can be codified in the ordinances, in which case it would override. And again, I'm not sure that my legal advice has been clear enough. I'm not saying you can never have a motion to deny. I'm saying that when the commissioners do not agree on a certain case and that there's a motion to approve on the table, it's inappropriate to then have a motion to deny take precedence over that motion to approve that's already on the table, because a motion to approve is the correct procedure under Robert's rules, and a motion to deny is not. So it's not that you can never have a motion to deny, it's just that when a motion to approve has already been made, that is the motion that should proceed. And again, a motion to deny, if it does not get the requisite number of votes, does not mean that the application is then approved, and then we would have to take a second vote. So that's why I discourage the use of a motion to deny when there is someone willing to make a motion to approve.
Okay, Commissioner Salem.
Yes, and I understand that completely. Thank you very much, Ms. Kuvion. I'm glad you cleared that up, because I think that we should still use a motion to deny, because it is confusing when you actually are disapproving a particular motion, but then you make a motion to approve. I can't do it. It just doesn't make sense in my brain. So I understand that if I make a motion to deny and somebody comes behind me with a motion to approve, it will override my motion to deny. And then someone can second.
Wait a minute. Now, that's not what you just said. You said the motion to approve if made first
Yeah, but
would override the motion to deny.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct. The motion to
Yeah.
approve should take precedence.
The motion
And I think
to-
that a lot of this may be smoother too, just with the way we conduct the meetings. And if someone makes a motion to approve, rather than going through the list of speakers in the queue, to just call for a second. And if we have a motion to approve and it gets a second, then we don't have to run into this debate about which motion is taking precedence on the floor.
We don't have to have the debate anymore. I mean, we understand that the motion to approve, I understand now that the motion to approve overrides the motion to deny, so I won't have
If it's made first.
It doesn't matter which,
In either event, a motion to approve should take precedent.
it doesn't really matter whether it's
made
said
first or
second, yeah, whether you have the deny first or you can't really make a motion to deny after you had a motion to approve.
That's correct.
So the only time it would come up is you make a motion to deny first, someone else comes up with a motion to approve, it overrides the motion to deny, and I think that we can carry on that way, and I think this commission has for years carried on that way, and I would like to see it continue.
Okay, I think it's a lot clearer in my head now. All right, Commissioner Seeger.
Is there a motion and a second on the floor at this time?
Yes.
Call for a vote, please.
Commissioner Troncoso.
Postpone. If a motion is made to deny first and it is second, then we vote, correct? Or if, what happens if I'm with Chris relative to the issue of we're making two affirmative statements of approval by making a motion to approve and second that emotion. That's two affirmations. When in fact, you vote against it, it's denied. So, all right, so if we make a motion to deny and it's second, and then we have to take a vote then, is that correct? At that point?
After more discussion.
If there's further discussion and the person says, I'll make a motion to approve, then what happens?
Then we would take a vote on that motion that received the second. And if that motion then fails, then we'll move forward with a motion
What
to
happens
approve.
if the motion to approve gets a second?
Then we take a vote on that motion.
First. It supersedes the
That-
deny.
That would be my recommendation and my preference to see.
Okay.
And again, we all can see who is in the queue to speak. We all, I think, have an idea on different cases if something's going to be controversial and may have someone that will make a motion to approve. In those instances, it would be more appropriate to allow someone to make a motion to approve an application, allow a second to be made before someone makes a motion to deny. If no motion to approve is made, then it would be appropriate for someone to make a motion to deny.
Well, my feeling is we should have that the ability to do a motion to deny, because it's just strange to me to have two affirmations of a motion to approve when, even if we know it's not going to pass. So, anyway, that's my opinion.
Commissioner Seegers.
My turn.
Your turn.
So, fellow commissioners, Robert's Rules of Order were set up. They've been working for, I think, since the 1700s. I don't think it's on us to change them. What is on us and what we expect from each other is an honest vote. Just because somebody says, I move to approve, you don't make a motion, by the way. According to Robert's Rules of Order, the proper word is I move, not I make a motion. So if you read the little Robert's Rules of Order pamphlet, that'll help expedite things. Just because I make a motion, first of all, it doesn't mean I'm going to approve it, vote yes. And I certainly don't expect any of my fellow commissioners to support something that they don't feel comfortable supporting, which eliminates everything that you're worried about having a denial. Vote with your heart, vote what's best for the parish, vote what you're feeling. That's what I'm going to do, that's what we've always done. And just because somebody moves to approve something does not necessarily mean that they support that. What it means is they're trying to expedite the procedure according to established rules of order. With that being said, I call for a vote. Again.
All right.
While y'all are voting, you need to say something?
Truxilla,
Just
Postpone the UDC consideration till August.
You yield, okay.
We got off track.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
To postpone the UDC consideration until August.
Okay.
All right, so while y'all are voting and the votes are being tallied, training is July 12th, so make that, it should be on your calendar already from 9 to 1, and then you'll come back that night for Planning Commission. So that'll be good. And I have a book, Robert's Rules for Dummies, which I'm in that, category. So if anybody wants to borrow the book, I have it and I can bring it.
Can you just call for a vote? Why do you have to make a motion to approve or deny or whatever? Why can't you just call for a vote?
Because you all have to make a recommendation one way or the other because it's appealable to the council, so they have to know.
The motion to postpone to August carries.
All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
I don't think I want to be part of that.